I'm not using the round marble tonight to look at the orbs. I'm using a glass candlestick holder. And it gives me, the light travels through it, I think, in different ways than it does a round marble that's made of glass. So I get some more interesting looks. And there's Harry again. Now, what was I going to talk about? Must not have been too important or I would remember it. Oh, I'll tell you this. I'm going to be in a documentary that is being made by a person named Kashiar Darvish. He has Walk-In Films, and he did, his latest one is Dalai Lama Awakening. And his next one that he will finish next year that I'm in is going to be called The Road to Happiness. And I'm part of it. I don't know how to act about that. Maybe I'll get the big head. Hope not, though. But anyway, I don't photograph well, so I'm afraid I'm not going to look that beautiful because it took a lot of pictures of me and asked me a lot of questions about what I think about things. And it was fun having him come to my home and film me. And he filmed me out in my sacred circle in my little VE tent. If you're familiar with me, I have posted pictures of that. Right now it's real pretty because there's a plant that's called the passion fruit plant that makes these beautiful, intricate looking flowers. And it's growing all over it. And I'll tell you about a dove. There was a little dove in the tree. There's a nest right above the swing out under a tree. And I've been observing that little dove. Took lots of pictures of it, such as I could get because I could only see his head above the nest. Well, now he's out of the nest and he stays in the yard and he comes up real close. But he won't let me get too close to him that I could actually reach out and get him to light on me. I wish I could, but he's just a little thing. And he's a white-winged dove. He's not all white. He has white on his wing tips. Anyway, I got him some seeds today and put them in a special place so that he can see them. And I'm sure other doves and other birds are going to get the seeds too, though. But anyway, since I call myself the dove lady, I'm very happy to have a little dove friend. Well, let me move this around a bit. See what all I can get. To me, it looks like what I'm filming is, because I move it around, sometimes I'll hold it still in just one place just to see the motion, the pulsation, and the kind of movements that are in that one place. But I don't want to just stay in one place, so I move the camera around to get what is in the space around that space. And look there's something that's unusual looking. There's some videos I've taken of light that I got a one-time thing that I've never gotten again. One called Trip into a Light Fractal. Trip to follow a light fractal, I think is what I call that video. And I've never been able to get that exactly, the light to do like it did that time, ever again since then. I don't know. Maybe it'll let it happen again. But it's going to be that way with me, that I say, well, you do what you want to do, Light. I'm not going to command. I'm not going to try to control or understand you completely. I'm going to allow you to just let me observe. And I'll come up with theories, I'm sure. Everybody else can too. That's all right. As long as you don't get dogmatic about it. That's what religion does. They get their ideas that they're so right about something, they get very dogmatic about it. And then the organization they form around it kills its effectiveness. Well, that's kind of weird there. I see something and I follow it. I try to see, where does it start? Where does it go? What is it? That's always a question. I don't know what this stuff is. I've never been someone who had a microscope to look at, like in some schools have them, a lot of schools have them, where the students get to study little tiny things that move about. I've seen pictures of this, but the objects they look at seem to move about at their own will. And these things don't seem to be moving around, eating up everything all around them, like little microscopic pond scum things do. I'm getting some unusual things tonight. I'm just laying in my bed with my camera in my hand, looking up at the light, and holding this piece of glass. Oh, I know what I wanted to tell you. Someone commented, well, I guess I should just throw away my fancy equipment and get some marbles and a flashlight. Because they couldn't believe what I was saying about what I thought it might be that I was looking at. Because they have fancy equipment and they don't want to think that something simple and way less expensive could show them something that their fancy equipment couldn't do. I understand that. I do. If you spend a lot of money on something and someone takes something that's really cheap, I mean, this little camera is less than $200. And it's like it's a microscope into another zone of life, another dimension. I do so love exploring it. Now, I talk about it sometime and I sound pretty dumb. I know I do. Because when you talk about something this weird, you just necessarily sound weird. It's just not an ordinary thing. Oh, and when I'm in that documentary, this documentary is a follow-up of his having made a documentary a few years ago about Peace Pilgrim. So this documentary is concerning the people whose lives were influenced by Peace Pilgrim. And I'm one of them. I never met her. I mean, when I even learned of her, she had already passed away. And I read a book about her, and she's really a very, very special person. She didn't want there to be war, and she gave up everything. She only carried with her a change of clothes and some stamps and a pencil and some paper or something like that. She just walked everywhere, and she said, I'll walk until given shelter, and I'll fast until given food. And she taught everywhere she went, and she was never in any real danger because she was just specially protected, and she could do things grown men that are really rough and tough couldn't keep up with her. She walked thousands of miles. Look her up sometime. Just Google Peace Pilgrim, and you'll find out all about her. And she said very many really wise things, like replace hatred with love, and many other things she said that was so important. People had her come to their churches to talk, and colleges and all kinds of places. And she walked for years and didn't own a thing. Anyway, so I'm going to be in a documentary that'll come out next year. When it comes out, I'll let the people who keep up with me on this YouTube channel, I'll let you know. Ooh, look there. What's that? 11 minutes. My arm is getting tired. I got some diatomaceous earth the other day, I guess that's how you pronounce it, to put out in my little VE tent because ants are in there crawling around. And they invariably get on me and sting me. All kinds of places on my feet where I've been stung by ants. And also red bugs. Some people call them chiggers, and they bite you really bad. And they make a place that stays on you for days. But I got this 7 dust, and I never remember to put it on my feet. I need to remember to do that because they have bitten me so many times. Look at all that. What is in empty space is not nothing. It's nothing to our way of looking because we're in the illusion and we see it as nothing. And we see the illusion as, oh, that's the only thing real. Because look, it has all the 5 senses. You can feel, touch, taste, smell, hear. But that doesn't mean it's not an illusion. The illusion is more like a virtual reality. And this world and our being in it's kind of like being in a holographic universe. It's a magician's trick. It's all done with lights and mirrors. We're the mirrors for one another. Because some people don't see their self until they see something in another person that's really in them, but they see it exaggerated in another person. And they're supposed to see that because they're supposed to deal with that very same thing in themselves. But they dump outside themselves and say, oh, the other person is bad, but I'm not. They're wrong, but I'm not. The ego, it's the troublemaker sometime. It's a very necessary thing to have, though. You need a little ego. Most of my life, I've been a loner, still am. I don't make friends easily, except on YouTube. I have made a few friends that are not people I see every day. I don't have people around me that I have a comfort zone, like, oh, there's people who talk like I do and talk about the things I like. No, I don't have that. I don't have anyone who is even exploring this with me and, letting me know what they've found out and trying some of the experiments that I do to see if they can get the same kind of pictures. I would love that to happen. Because it's a very simple process. I don't even know if just anyone can get these pictures. I don't know. Maybe they can. I have a friend that I showed how to do it to, and he could get them. But he doesn't have the interest in taking pictures of it like I do. Look at that. That is so weird. So weird. Weird and wonderful. Anyway, I like hearing from some of you who watch my videos, and you make comments. Especially I like hearing from people who are nice enough not to say ugly things. Mostly I do get that kind of comment, a good comment, not a bad one. But now and then there'll be a troll. I've learned not to let that bother me. I answer them nicely, and sometimes I don't answer them at all. It depends. Well, my arm's about to break off. Even laying in bed in a comfortable position, holding my arm out so long, just holding the glass implement that I'm using, it's getting tiresome. So I'm going to end this and let you go. Let me hear from you. This is the Dove Lady, over and out for now.